What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. These are my post weigh-in final thoughts for UFC 307. We have Alex Pereira going against Khalil Rountree. And yeah, looking forward to this card. A very solid pay-per-view for sure. Not a ton really happened at weigh-ins. It looked like everybody made weight. Everybody looked fine for the most part, I'd say. But yeah, some spots certainly sticking out for this card. I think there's a lot of live dogs. So definitely looking forward to it. Looking forward to breaking it all down. Before we get into it, if you guys could like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you guys are watching on the replay, leave me a comment. All three of those things go a very long way. Do want to say what is up to the chat here. Hopefully everybody's having a very solid Friday. When's the betting breakdown come out? Tomorrow morning. Yeah, looking to be either late tonight or early tomorrow morning there. Got most of my action in, but I'm looking at a couple more spots for this card. We got Jacob in the building saying, Chama, let's go, let's go. We got Joseph saying it's going to be an early night for Khalil Rountree. He's going night inside the first round. Yeah, I'm thinking either first or second round more than likely for Alex Pereira to get it done. Everyone's talking about Kayla's weight, but it was Kellen who needed the cover. Yeah, I noticed that as well. The weigh-in for Harrison was something that I guess I wanted to see. Like, I'm not betting on that fight, but I did want to see Kayla Harrison, weigh in. She cuts a ton of weight, but yeah, she looked good doing so. I thought Kayla even looked better than last time out. So yeah, the weight cut seems to not be an issue for her, which is crazy. Alex Pereira's second round sub will feed family. Yeah, if Alex Pereira wins by submission, the bookies are going to take a massive hit because I've seen everybody on Alex Pereira by sub. It actually opened up plus 2,000 and it's been just completely obliterated since then. So yeah, everybody's on the Alex Pereira by submission. You're on the second round submission though, which probably is a very, very big number there. But yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. A lot of people are on that sub. We got Benita saying thanks for the early live from Europe. Yeah, no problem. I mean, they're doing the ceremonial weigh-ins at 7, like in 3 hours. I'm not waiting that long. Like, come on. So I want to get on here, go through these fights, and talk through some spots. We got John in the building. What is up, John? Good to see you. Not gonna bring up that comment. That's kind of weird. But we'll just move on to the next one, I guess. We got Samuel saying, happy Friday, Brady. Not too excited for this card, but better than having no card at all. Yeah, not the best pay-per-view in the world, but I think it's going to be a fun, solid card nonetheless. We got Sped MMA Enjoyer saying, Brady, does my parlay hit? Minus 170 Pennington. Yes. Minus 250 for Themba Garimbo. Yes. I think both those hit. I love that parlay. I like Pennington. Which Pennington, though? Which Pennington? There's Tisha Pennington, and there is Raquel Pennington, and they're both around minus 170. So, but I think they both win anyway. But yeah, I mean, I think both Penningtons win, and then also Themba Garimbo. I even was looking at that minus 250 to maybe parlay up with something for a lot of spots sticking out for next week. And next week, I'm going to probably have a very, very heavy betting week, and probably going to get on some lines for sure early. And Themba was one of those spots because I just think Nico, although a great guy, I think he's probably done. Wyman told a hilarious story during the weigh-ins. Yeah, I heard the story, kind of disturbing story, but I heard it nonetheless, and yeah, it was kind of funny. We got Forrest saying, happy spooky season. Do you have any Halloween plans? Might take the kid trick-or-treating, might dress him up as something, I don't know. But I don't know what's planned. When is Halloween coming up? Actually, it's not for a while. I don't know. But yeah, I'm probably going to go out and maybe do some trick-or-treating with the kid. Let's see. Alex Pereira by sub is mush. Yeah. I mean, if it hits, a lot of people are going to be very happy. That's for dang sure. Every I don't know what's wrong with StreamYard, man. There it is. You pay $25 a month for StreamYard, and they do stuff like this. It's getting old, StreamYard. Get some help. Anyway, Mo saying everyone is joking, but I legit think he's going to try to sub him since he has a bet with Kayla Harrison, and she's going to try for a TKO. Yeah, apparently the Kayla and Alex do have a bet going on where essentially, Pereira is going to try to get a submission, and that's probably another reason why this line's getting smashed. Chris Duncan is my most confident pick. I think you might get that one right. Second most is Carla Esparza. Oh man, I thought about Carla, but there's a lot of things going against her Raquel, okay, I like Raquel quite a bit, but I also don't mind Atisha, but I like Raquel more. Do you think Kayla Harrison fight goes all 3 rounds? That's a 50-50 shot. Does she finish her? Does she not? I don't know, but I'm not touching it. I'm not messing around with it. Forrest, thanks, smash the like button. I agree. Pennington, wife and wife double. I thought about that. It's plus 150. It's enticing. I looked at the Salt Lake City cards, and a lot of fights finished in about 50-50. I don't know about these new gloves. Yeah, I think a lot of fights go the distance. Like, a lot of fights are expected to, and I think they probably do. All right, we got Call Me Husker saying, "Oi, what is up? His wife is still married him. That's the best part of the story." Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that bad. I mean, it was clearly disgusting, but it wasn't horrible, I guess. But yeah, guys, let's talk some fights here. A lot to talk about. And we're going to start with, and this bout order is a little bit out of order, but what can you do? All right, we're going to start with Alexander Hernandez going against Austin Hubbard. And I'm actually very surprised here that this much money is coming in on Austin Hubbard. Typically, I am very good at reading line movement. So I got in on 2 early bets, got a little bit of CLV on both of them. And I was going to pull the trigger on Austin Hubbard, but I kind of wanted to sit back and wait to see where the line goes because Alexander Hernandez is typically very, very, very overrated in the market. Like, he's way too big of a favorite. He's a favorite more often than not, and way too big of a favorite at that. Austin Hubbard, he's very underrated by the market. This guy is always a dog. People always picking against him. And I didn't really expect many people at all to be on Austin Hubbard, but I couldn't have been any more wrong. Like, a lot of monies came in on Austin Hubbard, and he went from plus 170 into at one point like plus 120, and he's currently plus 135. So kind of upset I didn't pull the trigger on him, but I think it's a better live bet spot. I think that's another reason why I kind of sat back and just waited, because I think it's a better live bet spot here. Like, I think Alexander Hernandez, skill for skill, is the better fighter. Austin Hubbard's one of those guys that he's solid everywhere. He's a solid striker, a solid wrestler, solid grappler. He's not amazing anywhere in any area. And then on top of that, he has those tangibles where he has really good toughness, unlike Alexander Hernandez. Hernandez does not. He has really good cardio, unlike Alexander Hernandez. Hernandez does not. Austin has a lot of heart, whereas Alexander Hernandez does not. So, and then on top of that, like, this fight is going to be an elevation. Austin Hubbard trains at elevation. Alexander Hernandez gasses out in every single fight, past 6-7.5 minutes. And on top of that, Hernandez has taken this fight on short notice. So there's a lot of reasons to like Austin Hubbard here. I'm going to be looking to live bet Austin Hubbard. If you got in at the plus 170, you did your job. You got a ton of CLV. But I ended up playing the plus 3.5 point spread on Austin Hubbard. I typically don't play these point spreads because the judges, they're crooked, they're corrupt, and we always see terrible scorecards. But there's a couple that really make a lot of sense to me. And here's one of them. Like, I could see a scenario where Alexander Hernandez wins the first round at a high clip, and then the second round, it's closer. It's a closer second round. And then the third round, I think Austin Hubbard probably does win that third round. So I think at the very least, Austin Hubbard doesn't get finished. He's tough. He's never been knocked out. And I think Hubbard wins at least one round here, at least. And if that's the case, this plus 3.5 is going to cash. So I have 1.5 units on that plus 3.5. It's minus 145, which is a really solid line, considering Hubbard's like plus 135 on the money line. On BetOnline, they have that point spread at minus 200. On DraftKings, though, they have it at minus 145. So I like that point spread on Austin Hubbard. Even if he loses the fight, I think it's going to be competitive. I think he at least steals around there. So yeah, give me that Hubbard point spread. There are 2 point spread bets I like a lot on this card, and that's the first one. What are you guys liking for this fight here? Esparza probably wins by decision. If this was 2 years ago, I'd agree, but we'll talk about all the things going against Esparza. I don't like it personally. Rate this parlay: Wonderboy, Aldo, and Pena plus 14-15. Wonderboy, I don't mind. Jose Aldo, I really like. And then Pena, it's probably like a 50-50 type. I don't think it's terrible. I'm on Raquel Pennington personally. I think she wins. I didn't bet anything on the fight per se, but yeah, that co-main event probably is competitive. 5 retirees on this card minimum. Yeah, man, there's a bunch. I mean, Tim Means could retire. Court McGee could retire. Carlos Esparza confirmed is going to retire. OSP should retire. Thompson, 41. Maybe Thompson retires. I don't know. I mean, what else we got? We have a lot of potential retirements. Jose Aldo's 38, but apparently he just signed a new deal, so he should still keep going. But yeah, lots of potential retirements here at UFC 307. Do you like Hubbard if he survives the first? Yes, that's why I like that. I like that live bet. I like the plus 3.5 point spread. I think he loses the first round at a decently high clip, but we see it time and time again with Hernandez. Looks good in round 1. Round 2, it gets iffy, and then he gets broken and finished. I don't think Hubbard probably finishes him, but I do think Hernandez is going to slow down quite a bit. Oh, let's see here. Nah, Hernandez got heart. You bugging? LOL. I think that Aldo fight was a great reminder, if I remember correctly. I don't think you do remember correctly. That Aldo fight was a horrible look for Hernandez. He went out there and he lost that fight. And not only that, he lost that every single round of that fight. He got 30-27 on every single scorecard by Bill Algeo. I thought that look was awful. But no, I mean, the Damon Jackson fight was a terrible look. He gassed out late, somehow lost the decision, and Damon Jackson got finished, and Billy Quarantillo made him quit. Moicano made him quit. Lost a 15-minute striking fight to Thiago Moises somehow. Got broken by Drew Dober. Got broken by Donald Cerrone. I think the heart is in question personally. I like that plus 3.5 bet, but I'll pass on this fight. Nothing wrong with that. Maybe look for a live entry. All right, let's keep moving on to the next fight. We have Tim Means going against Court McGee. And this is a fight I'm just completely staying away from. I want nothing to do with this fight. And for me, I mean, I think it comes down to who is the less washed out of the two. And I guess I'll go with Tim Means because he's losing a lot of these fights. He's 1-4 in his last 5. But prior to getting finished, he is looking decent in some of these fights. And yeah, he's getting finished, but Court McGee, you take a look at him, he hasn't had a finish win since like 2011. So I don't think Court McGee's finishing Tim Means. I think Tim Means is going to be the better striker here across 15 minutes. I'm not sure Court McGee's going to be able to have success with the wrestling. And on top of that, we can't even count on Court McGee to wrestle. There's been some fights where he doesn't even try to wrestle. So honestly, it is probably a dog or pass, but as far as a straight up pick, I'm going to go with Tim Means just because I feel like he has a little bit more left in the tank. Court McGee's just looked rough these last several fights, just getting knocked out in the first round multiple times. The Morono fight I didn't think was the best look. So the pick's Tim Means. I just don't see any way of betting this fight. I don't want to lay minus 190 on 41-year-old Tim Means. It just doesn't. It's not really something I want to do. So it's a straight up pass for me. Nothing sticking out here. Hope you like Shama. Yeah, I like Alex Pereira. Dylan saying call the number immediately if you bet on this fight and get help. Yeah, I mean it's not a fight I want to bet on. I mean people are taking the dog shot on Court McGee. I don't hate it just because Tim Means. I mean it's hard to lay this much chalk on Tim Means. Court McGee, he's from Utah, so I get that. But I mean Court McGee just looks so bad, just so bad. So I'm passing on this one. We got Broke DJ saying Hubbard and Aldo I love as dogs. I like Buckley over Wonderboy. Buckley's going to take him down, and he's going to be able to push him against the cage and land strikes because Wonderboy, all Wonderboy does is circle. I am on that Hubbard plus 3.5, and I am on Jose Aldo on the money line there. So with you there. Let's see. Courtney McGee. Did you call him Courtney on purpose? But anyway, Courtney McGee is so washed. Tim Means is way, way, way less. I think Tim Means is a little washed, but yeah, I think Court McGee just looked bad. We go from Battle of the Unks to Battle of the Mills. Yep, that is for sure. That is for sure. Good point, John. I mean, this fight is probably going to decision. And if it does, these crooked, corrupt judges could certainly come into play. It's certainly a good point. What is the McGee point spread? Probably not the best line, but I think McGee probably at least steals around. Let's see. Court McGee plus 3.5. Wow, it's only minus 135. That's not bad at all. Unless, people are thinking Tim Means finishes Court. But yeah, I think plus 3.5 for Court's not terrible. But I really don't want to bet this fight. Do you think Alex KO parlay with Almeida KO is worth loading up on? Yeah, I think if you parlay both those outcomes, you might get plus money. I'm picking them both personally, but I don't think you're going to get like crazy odds on it. But I think it's the most likely scenario. Buckley is my biggest lock on the card. I was hoping more people would get Wonderboy and lower the line. He can be very aggressive with the takedowns. Yeah, he's going to need some takedowns here, that's for sure. Means versus McGee is 100 gambler. Agree. I agree. No, I didn't mean to. It was a voice text mistake. I didn't mean to call him Courtney. All good. All good. All good. Yeah, the total, I don't know, man. I think it goes to distance, but both these guys are like so fragile at this point. So it's a pass for me as well. All right, let's keep moving on to the next fight. We got Tisha Pennington going against Carla Esparza. We got Pennington is sitting as a minus 180 favorite. Carla Esparza plus 155. And yeah, so I was looking at this matchup, and it's like I was very tempted on Esparza. I think if this fight was a couple of years ago, I'd absolutely be honored. But there are three narrative things that really scare me away from the Esparza side. One, this is her confirmed retirement fight. She confirmed it. I don't like that. Two, she is coming off of a pregnancy, having a kid. I don't like that. And then three, she's coming off of a 2-year layoff. I also don't like that. Those three things, well, out of fourth. I mean, her last fight, she got completely destroyed by Zhang Weili. I don't like that as well. But yeah, if this was a couple of years ago, I could definitely see a scenario where Carla Esparza gets some takedowns here or there. I still think even a couple of years ago, this may be a close fight. Carla Esparza loves going to split decision. And maybe this fight is close. It's just, I think Esparza has a ton of things going against her here. So I have to pick Tisha Pennington. Do I want to lay minus 180? Not really. So it's another fight where I'm just going to sit back and probably watch. Even like Pennington by decision, it's a little bit better of a price. I mean, you can get like minus 115. I don't think that's horrible considering Tisha has like the worst finishing rate in the entire UFC at like 14%. But I'm just going to sit back and watch this one. And not much sticking out here. The real question is, how did Raquel and Tisha decide which last name they took? I don't know, but they did go with Pennington. Call me Husker saying, I'm leaning towards Pennington winning this fight, but I'm going to pass entirely. Yeah, I'm leaning towards it, but just minus 180. This is probably like a close fight. Like Carla probably does get some takedowns. Tisha probably does the better work on the feet. It's probably competitive. It's going to go in the hands of the crooked, corrupt judges. So yeah, it's a pass for me. Fade the baby narrative. Yeah. Fighters that are retiring typically don't have the best success rate outside of like Robbie Lawler. Fighters that just had a kid typically don't have the best success rate either. Long layoff, just a lot of things going against Carla Esparza. I keyed this over on two-teamers with the Aldo fight and with the Marina Lucindo fight over 2.5. Yeah, I'd be shocked if there's a finish in this one. And so would the bookies, because the fight goes the distance is minus 600. Minus 600 there. Don't be shocked if Tisha loses. If both Penningtons lose, I mean, you couldn't be shocked. I mean, it's WMMA, but I'm picking both Penningtons to win personally. All right, fight to go to decision is minus 600, but at the same time, it's like I don't see a finish at all. I mean, outside of something weird happening, All right, let's move on to the next fight. We have Ryan Spann going against Ovince St. Preux. And what do we got the line on that? I know this money line's been hammered in favor of OSP. So Spann, he was as low as minus 330. He's now minus 230. OSP is plus 195. So for me, I think this should be. Is my mic plugged in? I certainly hope so. Let me double check. No, it's not. See, this is why StreamYard does it again. StreamYard does. I swear I changed the mic settings before the show and it still went back to. That's unbelievable. Yeah, thank you, Sadiq, for fixing that. My apologies, guys. My apologies. All right. Anyway, that's annoying. Where was I? Oh yeah, Ryan Spann, who's also very annoying. Ryan Spann, I feel like he should smoke OSP. I feel like people are really overrating OSP's last performance against Kennedy Nzechukwu, who I think literally did not show up, because prior to that OSP fight with Kennedy, OSP was done. He was completely done. He looked awful the last several fights. I mean, that he got finished in 60 seconds by Philippe Lins. He went to split decision with a retiring Shogun Hua. He got knocked out by Tanner Bozer. How's that even possible? And I'll never forget that Ben Rothwell fight where he just looked awful, just looked terrible against Ben Rothwell. And that fight was back in 2020. So I thought OSP's been done since 2020. And then all of a sudden he pulls off a massive upset win against Kennedy. But again, I think that was more so of Kennedy not showing up. Which Ryan Span's also capable of not showing up is the thing. So I get why people are taking the shot on OSP. It's like Ryan Spann is extremely untrustworthy. But, I do feel like Ryan Spann should go out there. And if Philippe Lins is knocking you out, if Tanner Bozer's knocking you out, why can't Ryan Spann go out there and knock him out as well? So I don't know. It's scary. It's certainly scary betting on Ryan Spann. But I'm looking at Ryan Spann round 1 at plus 200. When he is winning fights, it is typically in round 1. If it gets out of round 1, it typically goes bad very quickly. But yeah, he hasn't won a fight outside of round 1 since 2020, and it was against Sam Alvey, and he arguably lost that fight. It was a terrible look. So I might be looking at Ryan Spann round 1 plus 200 for a small play. Ryan Spann round 1 or round 2 is minus 110. But yeah, I really feel like Ryan Spann should get this done. It's just he's one of those guys you just can't trust. Spann is 33 years old and counting. He's really good. His opponents in LFA, he had an 11-2 run. He lost his last 3 against great opponents. Yes, Spann is on a 3-fight skid. Lost to Krylov, Smith, and Guskov. He was really close to finishing Smith in that fight as well. But yeah, I don't know. Spann at elevation, yep. But OSP at elevation too. I mean, OSP's cardio is not great either. Spann had Macho Man glasses at the weigh-ins this morning. Yeah, the dude's a character. That's for sure. I figured if any fights feature fighters unprepared for altitude, it's this one. Yes, betting the under 1.5 at plus 105. Yeah, I think the under 1.5 is solid. Spann should win by KO decision. Agreed. Ryan Spann was on a tear into the last 3 fights. He was literally on an 11-2. Yeah, I think I read that already. OSP keeps an extra oxygen in his donk. Oh my gosh. Maybe. What if this fight goes to the 3rd round? It's probably just turns into a terrible slop fest type of a fight and goes the distance. The fight goes the distance is plus 300, which wouldn't be completely shocking. All right, so yeah, maybe a small play on Ryan Spann, round 1 or round 2. Maybe. It's terrifying, but we'll move on to the next fight. It is Cesar Almeida going against Ihor Poteria. We got Almeida minus 400, Poteria plus 300. Yeah, not much sticking out here. I mean, I think it's a solid matchup for Almeida. Like Poteria, 0 takedowns in the UFC. I'm assuming he's going to try to wrestle here. He probably doesn't have any success. This is going to take place on the feet, and when it does, Poteria is he's not awful, but it's just going to be Almeida's a much higher level striker. There's just not much I think I can do here. The fight doesn't go to decisions, minus 650, which is wild. Almeida KO round 1 or round 2 on FanDuel, that's minus 110. I guess that's somewhat interesting, but yeah, not much sticking out. The under's minus 125. I think Almeida wins. I think Almeida probably does knock him out, but yeah, just really want nothing to do with this fight at all. I don't want to parlay up Almeida minus 400. So yeah, it's a pass for me, but I'm picking Almeida, and I think he probably knocks him out here in the 1st or 2nd round. Did anyone look rough at the weigh-ins? Not really. I mean, Jose Aldo looked a little rough, I'd say, but he's always been looking rough as of late, especially later into his career. I don't think anybody looked awful. Nior didn't really look as muscular as he used to at weigh-ins. Yeah, I noticed that as well. Played Almeida with Pereira, 2-teamer, minus 180. I think that cashes. But yeah, nothing really sticking out for this Almeida fight. I think it is probably violent though. Probably gets a knockout, but not much sticking out. The knockout prop for Almeida is not great, and then the Almeida 2-3 props are just awful. What is Almeida by knockout? Almeida by knockout, best price is minus 200. That's awful, man. So yeah, nothing sticking out here. I'm crazy, but Poteria has some takedowns outside of the UFC, but as you said, none of them in the UFC. Tag of 6.8 GBP potential. Yeah, I think as a dart throw, Poteria is not the worst look in the world. Maybe if he does get takedowns, maybe. I think there's a couple dart throws this week that are interesting, like Rountree, super cheap. He has power. Poteria, super cheap. OSP, just in case Span drops the ball. Very interesting. How does Kayla Harrison make weight? She's massive. I don't know, but she's done it twice now, and this time around she looked pretty good. She looked pretty good. This entire card is poor from a betting perspective, in my opinion. I'm just going to enjoy it. I tend to agree. Not a ton of spots sticking out, but I do have some underdogs I'm liking. All right, moving on to the next fight. It is Yasmin Lucindo going against Marina Rodriguez. Oh, man. I mean, I was very interesting and maybe like a dog shot on Rodriguez. The thing that's holding me off, though, is for one, Lucindo is going to be like 15 or 16 years younger. I think that's ridiculous. And then two, it's like I could very well see Lucindo mixing in takedowns here. And that's what Rodriguez always seems to struggle with is the takedown. She's getting taken down. She's getting held down. That's the thing with Rodriguez. Not only is she getting taken down in fights, but when fighters do end up getting her down, she kind of just is content to stay on her back and lose minutes. So in a fight where I think on the feet it's competitive, it's like, Lucindo, not only is she going to be younger, but in theory she's going to have some takedown upside. So I'm kind of leaning Lucindo here to mix in the takedowns. Should be a competitive fight, but yeah, not much sticking out here either. Minus 180. It's a bit much for my liking. Lucindo's a little bit still unproven. She's looked great, but against who? This is a step up. Rodriguez has fought the much better competition. But yeah, nothing sticking out here. Lucindo by decision. It is plus money. I think it's plus 110. I don't hate that just based off the fact that Rodriguez is next level tough. Not even Verna Janaroba could sub her. So maybe Lucindo by decision is better than the money line, I'd say. But yeah, I'm going to be passing on this one, I think, as well. Is Rountree much of a submission threat? How is he on the ground? He is not much of a submission threat. How is he on the ground? From what we've seen, just awful. But the fights we have seen him taken down, they were a while ago at this point. But I don't think the fight's hitting the ground personally. I always get Denise Gomes and Lucindo mixed up. I know Denise Gomes has some crazy neck tattoos. I don't think Lucindo. Oh yeah, Lucindo does have a neck tattoo. Yeah, she does. So I guess I could see why. Neck tattoos, they typically go out there and they do a good job. Fading both Kayla Harrison and Poteria, too different. It would be very different, especially fading Pereira. I think Pereira is going to be the highest owned fighter on the card. Fading both of them, yeah, I don't hate some lineups with that because I like Span as well. I like Cesar Almeida as well. I think both those fighters get knockouts, so I don't hate that. But I like all four of them up top. I like Kayla, Pereira, Span, Almeida. I think they all smash. Played the over 2.5. Yeah, over 2.5 solid. And it's not even a terrible price either compared to the Esparza fight. So yeah, I don't mind that. Split decision, I could see it. Lucindo getting some takedowns, Rodriguez maybe doing the better work on the feet. I could see it. Lucindo versus Lemos would be a banger. Let's see. Wonderboy by decision plus 300. We'll talk about that fight. Kayla is a lock. I would tend to agree, and so would the odds maker. She's minus 1,200 now. Brady, I believe Thompson will beat Buckley similar to how he beat Jeff Neal. Yeah, I mean, anytime Thompson goes against strikers, he makes them look silly. So it's going to be up to Buckley to wrestle here. Going to be up to Buckley to wrestle. All right, let's keep moving on to the next fight. It is Joaquin Buckley going against Stephen Thompson. And yeah, a lot of hot takes on this fight here. A lot of people think that, Buckley's a lock. And a lot of people think that, Thompson might be a very live dog here. So the way I'm playing this one is another point spread bet. I like the Hubbard point spread bet a lot at minus 145. And I like this Thompson point spread bet a lot as well at minus 135. Because, for Buckley to win this fight, especially 30-27, he's going to have to wrestle in every single round. And it's like you look through Stephen Thompson's entire career and who has been able to do that. And really only three guys. Gilbert Burns, when Burns was in his prime back in 2021. Bilal Muhammad, the champ. And then Shavkat Rahman, I was able to take him down and sub him. Outside of that, nobody's able to take down and hold down, Stephen Thompson. And then you look at Buckley, and it's like, yes, he's been able to get some takedowns, but, against who? Nursultan Rozaboev, who I'm still not sure about. Alex Morono, Andre Fiallo, Abdulrazak Alassane. So, I could see a scenario where Buckley does get some takedowns here or there, but is he going to just wrestle Stephen Thompson for 15? Is he going to get 15 minutes of control time? I'm not so sure about that. So I think this fight's going to play out on the feet a lot more than people think. And at that point, like, Stephen Thompson's probably going to style on Buckley. I mean, Buckley has that power, but Stephen Thompson, just a next level striker, even at 41 years old. Anytime we see Stephen Thompson strike with somebody, he makes him look dumb in there. Like, he destroyed Kevin Holland on the feet. He destroyed Vicente Luque, destroyed Jeff Neal. None of those fights were competitive on the feet. And I don't think it would be any different here against Buckley. So I think Buckley absolutely needs to wrestle. And I think he will wrestle. And I think he will get some takedowns. But I think Stephen Thompson can steal at least one of these rounds. I think he can win at least one of these rounds, and that's all I need. So I'm 2 units deep on this point spread. Really, the only concern would be maybe a Buckley finish, but Stephen Thompson's extremely durable. So yeah, I like that point spread on Stephen Thompson plus 3.5. Just need one round there. And then I also don't mind a small shot on the Thompson late KO props. We've seen Buckley knocked out a lot in the UFC. I think like 4 times even. So he got knocked out by Chris Curtis in the second round. He got knocked out by Alessio Di Chirico. He got knocked out by Kevin Holland in the third round. So, yeah, I could see maybe Stephen Thompson maybe getting a late finish. And the KO 2-3 on FanDuel is plus 1,500. We saw Thompson hurt Kevin Holland multiple times. We saw him hurt Jeff Neal multiple times. We saw him hurt Luque multiple times as well. So I don't mind like a late Thompson KO here as well. But yeah, the point spread bet's my favorite here on Stephen Thompson. All right, what do you guys liking in this fight? Oh, I don't know about that. For me personally, I can't, man. I mean, it's stars and scrubs for me. The mid range this week kind of sucks outside of Pennington, in my opinion. So I will not be doing it. I think at least one or maybe two of these 9,000 fighters will be on the optimal. That's a good number. Plus 200 for Wonder Boy. Too big of a number not to. Yeah, I mean, I think he's live. I think he's live for sure. Brady, can you believe Poteria versus Holloway, the biggest fight of the year by a mile, is next up, October 26th? Heck, dude, that card as a whole is phenomenal. One of the best cards of the year coming up here, 308. I was looking through that card yesterday, and it's like, that card is incredible. I cannot wait for that. Me too. I've been thinking that. Like, I would love to see a Buckley-Holland rematch. There's like some bad blood as well. Bro, Buckley has great IQ. He's not going to stand and bang with Buckley. Yeah, you wouldn't think so. I think he's going to wrestle. I didn't say he wouldn't. If he doesn't, he's in trouble. I've heard people say Buckley doesn't need to wrestle. They must be in Utah experience the Rocky Mountain highs. Yeah, I mean, Buckley's the striking's just not comparable. I mean, Wonder Boy is an incredible striker. So I think Buckley does need to wrestle, especially if he's going to pay off this price tag. Wonder Boy versus Buckley is my most underrated fight of the card. It's a phenomenal matchup for Wonder Boy at this point in his glorious career. We shall see. We shall see. Yes, Buckley. No, I get it. Buckley's looked like a beast, but against like who? I mean, Andre Fiallo. He's cut. Alex Morono. He's looked awful. Vicente Luque. He's looked awful. Nursultan Rozaboev, I guess, but I don't know. Oh, so many people picking Wonder Boy as a dog. Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. A lot of people very confident on either side here type thing, which makes for a fun fight. I think Buckley's going to have a real hard time entering the pocket versus Wonder Boy. Agreed. How is Buckley's cardio? It's actually not bad. You wouldn't look at him and think he has great cardio. The dude's jacked. But yeah, the cardio is actually not terrible at all. But in elevation, we'll see. And I know Uncle Weezy is on Wonder Boy, making it an ass shaving of the week, which is bold. Uncle Weezy is putting his balls on the table, making the big dog here, ass shaving of the week. So I hope so. I'm on that plus 3.5. I'm on the 2-3 sprinkle, so I'm hoping somebody's ass gets shaved in this one for sure. All right, let's keep moving on to the next fight. Before we do so, if you guys could do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Best bet tomorrow. The fights kick off at 6:30 Eastern time, so going to be going live around 4:30, maybe 5 tomorrow for fight day. Betting breakdown video will be out tonight or early tomorrow. And yeah, heck yeah, let's keep moving on. Kevin Holland going against Roman Dolidze. Very interesting fight. I think this is a borderline striker versus grappler matchup. Although Holland, he can grapple, and although Dolidze can strike a little bit, I think that Dolidze is going to absolutely want to get this fight down to the mat, and Holland's going to want to keep this one standing. So, yeah, I think Dolidze has a clear path here, which would be taking down Kevin Holland and either holding him down or maybe even possibly finding a submission. Kevin Holland, 54% takedown defense. And we haven't seen it in a while, but like, what does Holland struggle against? He struggles against big, strong guys taking him down. We got to remember Dolidze is a guy that's primarily fought at light heavyweight. He even has a fight at heavyweight. And we've seen Holland taken down 11 times by Marvin Vettori. We saw him taken down 6 times across 25 minutes by Derek Brunson. We saw Dawkins get him down. We saw Souza get him down. We saw Chimaev get him down and insta-tap him. So, yeah, I think Dolidze, if he were to fight smart, he would clinch up here, muscle him down to the ground, just use that size to his advantage. And if he does, I think he can win minutes on top. If not, maybe even get a sub. Holland's been subbed multiple times in the UFC. Chimaev got him out of there. Allen got him out of there. Dawkins got him out of there, even though there was a head clash. So, yeah, I think Dolidze, he hasn't had a sub yet, but he's attempted like 8 or 9 submissions. And he's been very close in a couple. Like Jack Hermanson, that very well could have been a sub. Phil Hawes, he tore up his leg. That very well could have been a sub. He was extremely close to submitting John Alon. So, yeah, I think Dolidze has some paths here. If, for some reason, Dolidze chose to go out there and strike for 15 minutes, yeah, he's going to lose. I mean, Kevin Holland's just much quicker. Kevin Holland has much more volume. I think Dolidze can potentially land some big shots, and we've seen Holland go out there and mess around on the feet. So I think it could be a little competitive. But yeah, you got to favorite Kevin Holland in the striking. It's just Dolidze has such a clear path here, and he's on a full camp. So yeah, I think he might be able to take it here. So I'm on Dolidze money line plus 140. And then also I haven't done it yet, but I mean the sub props just been looking at me all week. It's just been looking at me, and I might sprinkle the submission at plus 1400. It's one of those where it's like at the very least, Dolidze is going to attempt a submission. That's his path. The path is to grapple here, and his grappling's incredible. It's just we haven't seen a sub yet, but maybe that changes here. But yeah, I'm on the Dolidze money line here for this one. Roman, I don't want to say that. By decision, Holland isn't knocking him and definitely isn't grappling. Yeah, I don't think anybody's finishing Roman Dolidze. Buckley's biggest win is against a guy who is now in the PFL. Yeah, I mean, the wins haven't aged well, at least in my opinion, but you seem to agree with me. Let's see. Dolidze looked weird on the scales. Doesn't look how he normally does. An imposter, dare I say. I think it's just he needs to maybe shave his chest a little bit. I mean, the chest hair is getting a little out of control. I think that's might have been what it was. Dolidze by decision. That's what I'm picking. Actually, I think I'm picking the sub, actually. But yeah, I could see decision as well. Dolidze money line plus 122. I'm on it. I don't hate it. I mean, the clear paths there. Holland, you can't trust him. I don't mind the plus money, man. Holland is already making excuses at the press conference. Woman will play with a 13, 8, 0, and 1 can. Holland's not a can, but yeah, I don't know. Brady, who are your most 3 confident picks bets for 307? So picks would be easy. Kayla Harrison, Alex Pereira, Cesar Almeida. Those are my most confident picks. My most confident bets are those point spread bets. I like the Austin Hubbard plus 3.5 point spread. I think it's a great line, minus 145. I like the Stephen Thompson point spread, plus 1 or minus 135. Just need to win a round. And then the other bet I do like quite a bit would be, I don't know. I don't want to say anything in the Span fight. I think just those. I don't have a ton of big bets this week, to be honest. A couple dog shots here and there. Nothing really sticking out. I bet Holland by decision plus 175. I hope he can keep it standing. If he does, he probably makes it look pretty easy. So actually, no, I don't think he does, because Holland never makes anything look easy. But yeah, if he does win, I think it's by decision. Thompson plus 3.5 is minus 130. Wow. Yeah, money's coming in on Buckley, it looks like. So it looks like the plus 3.5 is getting better and better. So yeah, don't mind that at all. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Impa is elite. Impa's been on a roll, man. Impa's been looking really good. That's for sure. Would like to see Impa back in the UFC very quickly. Do you have any prize picks plays, Brady? Nothing locked in yet officially. There are some things looking at. I'm looking at. I think the Raquel Pennington more on the fantasy score. I think it was at 87.5 when I checked earlier. What else did I like there? See, the Pennington on the fantasy score. I think even in a loss, she could hit that, but in a win, she smashes it. What else? I don't mind the span less on the fight time. Last time I checked, it was 7.5 minutes fight time. I think if he's winning, it's probably early. What else? Pennington, Tisha Pennington, that is more. Actually, both Penningtons. Both Penningtons more on the significant strikes. Tisha was at 51.5. Raquel was at 82.5. So yeah, I haven't locked in anything yet, but those are the kind of the spots I've circled so far. Hit that thumbs up, everyone. I agree. Shout out Uncle Wheezy. Roman live after his last short notice win. Yeah, he's getting a full camp here, which I do like. Holland has underrated wrestling. No, I feel like that Hamzat fight is what people remember. I mean, I remember the Bronson fight, the Vettori fight. I mean, you shouldn't be getting taken down 11 times by Vettori. But I think his wrestling has improved. I'll say that. Has Impa woke up yet? I don't think so. I don't think so. Do you see any chance of a Holland finish if the elevation gets to Dolidze maybe? But Dolidze is just you can't finish that guy unless you bring like a baseball bat into the cage. So I don't know. Both Penningtons are locks. Money on the money line. I like Raquel a decent amount, but I'm picking them both. All right, let's move on to the next fight. We got Kayla Harrison going against Ketlen Vieira. Kayla Harrison is now minus 1,200. Ketlen Vieira is plus 750. And yeah, not much sticking out here, guys. I think obviously Kayla should win this fight. I think she should be able to get this fight down to the mat, no problem. And even though like Ketlen's takedown defense is probably some of the best in the division, it's like 90%. She's very hard to take down. It's probably not going to matter here. Kayla's going to use that judo, get the fight down to the ground. And once she's going to be, able to stay on top and win minutes, if not moments here. So yeah, it's Kayla. Then you just got to decide, like, how does Kayla win this fight? Does she win it by knockout? TKO it would be, which is plus 225. Does she win by submission, which is plus 300? Does she win by decision, which is plus 115? It's like she can win by really any method she wants is the thing. So I'm staying away from this one. I think Kayla wins. Hot take on my end there. Let's see. Roman the Caucasian, Dolidze. Is that really his nickname? Is that seriously his nickname? Dolidze is going to put him into a pretzel. I hope, because I really might be sprinkling that plus 1,400 sub. It's one of those spots where it's like, I think he's going to attempt at least one. And it's kind of a crazy number for that. Kayla Harrison by world-class domination. Yeah, it's probably going to look dominant. She should win here. Almost forced to take a shot on Ketlen with these odds. I would have maybe thought about if like Kayla looked horrible on the scales, but yeah, Kayla Harrison looked fine on the scale. So Kayla inside the distance plus 110. I have to take that. Yeah, so they have the Kayla inside the distance at plus 110. I think you should just take the fight doesn't go, which is plus 100, just in case. But yeah, both are plus money there. I think I would lean more towards TKO personally. Ketlen's a black belt, but it could be sub, man. She's gonna do whatever she wants. Apparently, her and Pereira have a bet going on, and I'm not sure. I mean, I think people are saying that Pereira needs a sub and Kayla needs a knockout. I think they're saying is the bet, but who knows? Draw lock of the year. Kayla will 10-8 in the first, but gas free money. It's not the craziest thing you've ever said, Melon. It's certainly not the craziest thing you've ever said. Maybe the elevation gets to Kayla, but I don't know. That is in fact Roman's nickname. Okay, I don't mind it. I have 5 units on Kayla minus 500. The line is long gone. That's a great bet. You destroyed the odds on that. Great bet. Harrison said her celebrity look like is Brock Lesnar. Jeez, did she really say that? Come on. 5 units on minus 500 is not smart. I mean, in this instance, I think it probably is not the worst bet in the world, considering like she's minus 1,200 now. So, but yeah. Anyway, we'll move on to the next fight. We got Mario Batista going against Jose Aldo. And this is a spot where we have Batista like minus 145. Jose Aldo is plus 125. I am on the Batista money line at plus 132 for 1 unit. And yeah, I think it's a very winnable matchup for Jose Aldo. It's like when Mario Batista is winning fights, first and foremost, I mean, I'm taking a look at some of Mario Batista's wins because he's looked really good as of late. But some of these wins are just awful wins. He went out there and beat Benito Lopez a couple fights ago. I mean, that win means nothing. He submits Brian Kelleher. That win means nothing. Jay Perrin, Guido Canetti, Damon Blackshear. That's a great win. It's just Blackshear took that fight on like 1 week's notice, didn't he? After already fighting the week before against Jose Johnson. And he almost lost that fight. Like, I thought Blackshear could have potentially won that fight. Batista got outstruck at distance. Not the best look. And then he beats a washed up Ricky Simone. So, yeah, I don't get the line. I know a lot of people are on Jose Aldo, and this money line isn't moving, which is terrifying. But stylistically, it's like, is Batista going to get takedowns? No, he's not. Nobody's taken down Jose Aldo. Aldo has the best takedown defense in the division, if not like in the entire UFC. Like, Aldo's impossible to take down. Merab went 0 for 16 on takedowns against him. So we're going to get a fight that takes place on the feet. And at that point, you got to favor the striking of Jose Aldo, right? I think he's even more durable. We've seen Batista knocked out by Trevin Jones, who's now cut. So yeah, plus 132, it was a no-brainer. 1 unit on it. And I think Jose Aldo by knockout at plus 700 is interesting as well, considering Batista's been finished in both of his losses. So yeah, I'm on Jose Aldo here. A lot of people are, which again is scary, but I got to go with Jose Aldo here for sure. What do you guys got on this one? Okay. I mean, I guess I could see it, but I can't believe she said that. Can't believe she said that. Batista money line will only get better odds wise. Taking that. Yep, it's not many people are on Batista, that's for sure. So we'll see. Brady, you just said you're on the Batista money line. Oh yeah, I'm on the Aldo money line. If I said Batista, my mistake. I'm on Jose Aldo. Dog or pass. Jose's too good. Yeah, he looked phenomenal his last fight. Mario Batista losing to Trevin Jones is not a good look. No, it's not. It's not. Aldo doesn't throw enough volume. Mario pieces up the poor kid. Yeah, I mean the volume's not great, but it looked good in his last fight. You said you said Batista. My bad, guys. I'm on Jose Aldo. My bad. Everybody makes mistakes, Everybody makes mistakes. Yeah, I got plus 132. This one going the distance, maybe. I think Aldo could be sneakily live for a knockout. And yep, good point. We shall see. But yeah, we'll see. All right, moving on. Next fight, we got co-main event, Raquel Pennington, Juliana Pena. We have Pennington minus 170 and Pena plus 145. For me, I like Pennington. I'm going to be very high on Pennington from a DraftKings perspective. I think she's one of my favorite plays on the entire card. But from a betting perspective, I don't know. I mean, I think she wins the fight. Minus 170. This probably goes the distance. It's probably going to come into the hands of the crooked, corrupt judges. Maybe it is competitive. But yeah, in terms of a pick, I got to go Pennington here. I just think she's the better fighter. She's been more active. And quite frankly, like Pennington's looked career best. She's looked really good. Really good. The volume, the striking's looked better than ever. She's always had that clinch game. She's very good in the clinch. Wrestling's, decent. Offensively, defensively. Yeah, I think she wins this fight more often than not. But from a betting perspective, not a ton sticking out. But yeah, DraftKings, I love Pennington. She scored like 130, 140 in her last fight. I could see something similar here. 25 minutes to work with, lots of volume, some control time mixed in. So that's kind of how I'm attacking Pennington, is from like a DraftKings perspective type thing. But no bets really sticking out. Oh, let's see. I had Aldo by KO in the Martinez fight, and then in the third round, he showed Martinez mercy. Yeah, he did. He could have easily got Martinez out of there. Martinez was on wobbly legs. But yeah, Aldo KO's plus 700. Pena is honestly not that good. Agreed. And there's going to be a lot of money coming in on Pena because of that one fight. Pena hasn't fought in 2 years. Yeah, I've never really been high on Pena. I'm going to pass on the co-main. Same. Took Pena plus 150. Hey, I mean, you got one thing going in your favor, Elijah one. You got the plus money, and maybe the crooked, corrupt judges could potentially help you out there. Pena versus Rocky 50-50, can't pick. Yeah, I mean, it probably does look 50-50, to be honest. Raquel more significant strikes, minus 200. Yeah. I don't hate it. Rooting for Pena. She's getting too much bad rep for the second fight with Nunez. I think she's getting bad rep because she's kind of like annoying. I don't know. Pena will fight for her money. That she will. Pena will rob Pennington on the cards, and everyone's bets will die. Can't wait. Hey, that is certainly a live outcome. I heard Pena came to elevation a week before the fight. Rocky didn't finish many people, but I could see Pena gassed, goes for a takedown and gets grilled like Chiazon did. So I'll never forget the moment when Juliana Pena got submitted by Jermaine Durandamy. It was the most hilarious outcome you could ever imagine. I mean, how does that happen? So, I mean, that could be in the cards here. We could see like a Pennington submission later in the fight. We got my guy, Cody MMA. What is up, Cody? I went on his show on Wednesday with him and Evan. It was a fun time. Looking forward to seeing how it plays out. Looking forward to hopefully doing well. Appreciate you as well, Cody. Want to see that world-class Pena striking. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Yeah. The subs live, man. I mean, but they're kind of all over it. Pennington by subs only plus 500, something like that. But I know on FanDuel they have like the sub 3, 4, 5. Like maybe that's an enticing number, maybe. Because if you're getting sub by GDR, like I don't know what to tell you. So Pennington by submission in round 3, 4, or 5. Plus 1,200. Yeah, they're kind of all over. It's not a terrible line, but would like a better number on it. Pena won the crap talking, but I think she loses the fight. I didn't watch the press conference. Just no interest in watching it, to be honest. But yeah, I guess she won the crap talking. All right, let's move on to the main event, guys. We have Alex Pereira going against Khalil Rountree. We have Pereira as a pretty massive favorite here, minus 443, Rountree plus 343. And the talk of the town is this submission prop, man. I mean, everybody's on the submission prop. It's crazy. So it opened up plus 2,000, and it's all the way down to plus 800. Somebody knows something. Does he do it? Does he do it for the community? I might sprinkle it a little bit. Just because like fear of missing out, but I don't know. I think that this fight's going to take place standing. Like, how does that sub happen? Roundtree's not going to wrestle, I don't think. Does Pereira go for takedowns here? I don't think so, but maybe you never know. So a lot of people are on that sub prop. Nothing's really sticking out here for me. I think that they have the KO 1-2-3 on FanDuel. It's minus 155. And I think that might keep getting better with people betting the sub props. So I might look at that. I think Pereira knocks out Rountree in the first, second, maybe third round if it gets there. But yeah, nothing really sticking out to me. Yeah, but I like Pereira to win. I like him to get a knockout, but there's not much sticking out. The fight doesn't go minus 1,000 is wild. Pereira by KO in general is not the best price. Pereira inside the distance minus 385. No, thank you. So yeah, a lot of people are on the sub prop. A lot of people are on that sub prop. We shall see. I can't lie. I'm actually excited for the Pennington Pena fight. I love that there's a backstory to it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, I guess. It got Potent by sub plus 2,200 on Bet365. Now it's at plus 1,000. Hey, cash that CLV, man. I mean, that would be if Alex Pereira gets a sub. the bookie's going to be hurting because everybody's on it. Same as the O'Malley sub, same chance, I think. Yeah, I'd say maybe even a less of a chance because at least with Marab, you knew he was going to wrestle. So maybe there could be, O'Malley catching him in something. But with Rountree, like he's probably not going to wrestle. So I think it would be on Pereira to wrestle here. Maybe a club and sub. Maybe it'd have to be a club and sub. Rountree said he was training at altitude in Vegas. He said he got to Salt Lake City 11 days out. It is for that reason he'll last until round 2. Pereira round 2 KO again. Can I get an amen? Amen. I mean, that's what I'm picking, round 2 KO. It's plus 470. Fight ends in round 2, plus 290. Don't hate. That's personally what I'm picking. Played the over 1.5, minus 135. Going to be a sweat, but I think it goes over 7.5. I think it gets to round 2, over 1.5, potentially. But I am thinking it goes to round 2. Round 2 KO right there with you. I believe it's because Kayla Harrison said about their bet. I have a theory that Kayla and Alex bet each other that Alex would win by submission and Kayla would get a KO. Yep. I think that's what's going on a little bit. Rountree is so bad. I don't understand why Pereira isn't minus 1,000 because he has that power. He has that power. Fight's probably going to decision. Hard to land a left hook of death against a southpaw. If this fight goes to, I mean, we've seen crazier things happen, but Pereira Rountree fight doesn't goes minus 1,000. I wouldn't completely rule it out, especially with what we've been seeing lately. No, that Jerry sub, how much was the? I don't think Jerry sub was like that crazy. It was probably maybe like plus 1,000, maybe. Pereira round 2, same here. So yeah, maybe I'll look at like Pereira 1, 2, 3 KO, Pereira KO 2, it's plus 470, Pereira KO 3 plus 700. Maybe I get there, but not a ton sticking out in the main event. Quick recap, talked about the main event just now. Pennington, I like her to win, but more so from like a DraftKings perspective. Going to be very heavy on her from a DraftKings perspective. I also don't mind stacking that fight in cash games. I think the fight goes 25. I think the fight scores a ton as a whole. Batista, Jose Aldo. I'm on the Aldo money line for 1 unit. I might add on to the money line a little bit. Might add on like another half unit or so. Might add on maybe the KO prop for Jose Aldo as well, but liking Jose Aldo at plus money. Harrison Vieira, pass. Holland, Dolidze. I'm on the Dolidze money line for 1 unit. And then I'm also looking at maybe Dolidze by submission at plus 1,400. Buckley, Thompson. There's 2 point spreads I like, plus 3.5. Thompson, it's minus 130 now, I guess. I got it at minus 135. I like that. I think he can at least win a round. And then I'm also on the Thompson 2-3 KO. It's plus 1,500 on FanDuel. I think that's very enticing. Buckley's been knocked out a ton. Lucindo Rodriguez pass, Almeida Poteria pass, Span Oven St. Preux. Span round 1 is plus 200. I don't think that's awful. Span round 1 or round 2 is minus 110. I don't think that's awful. Maybe I get there, but betting on Ryan Span is terrifying. Pennington Esparza pass, Tim Means McGee pass, and then Hubbard Hernandez. I like Hubbard live entry after the first round, and then also the Hubbard point spread, which is minus 145, which I like as well. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for this week. No major plays, a couple dogs, a couple point spreads, and probably going to attack next week heavier. A ton of spots sticking out next week already. So I'm going to try to get in on that early as well. So plus 1,400, there you go. That's the best price out there then. Alex decision plus 700. I thought I saw plus 900 somewhere. Am I crazy to fade the main event in GPPs? No, you're not, because it's gonna be high owned, and if Pereira does get a second or third round knockout, like we could see Kayla Harrison go out there and completely smash. We could see Cesar Almeida get a first round knockout. We could see Ryan Span get a first round finish. So you're not crazy at all. All right. So yeah, that's about it, guys. Alex, height, reach, distance management advantage. Not sure why anyone not on him. Yeah, I don't really see many people taking Khalil, to be honest, but we'll see. All right, guys, that is about all I got for today. If you guys could do me a favor, like on your way out, subscribe to the channel, check out the betting breakdown video out either late tonight, early tomorrow, and then check out Best Bet tomorrow, either an hour or 2 hours before the fights. Best of luck, guys, for UFC 307, and we'll talk to you soon. Later.